Hey travelers, welcome back. My name is Carlos.
And I'm Elisa. Today we're diving deep into one of our favorite topics: how to book those elusive hour flights without losing your mind or your miles.
Yes. Elisa, remember the first time we tried to book a flight with points? We were so pumped, but it felt like we were trying to crack some secret code.
Totally. We were all over the place comparing charts and checking different dates, and honestly, it was a bit of a mess at first. But once we figured out, it was like, whoa, this really works. And now we're here to share all those hard earned tips with you.
That's right. Whether you're new to the game or just looking to sharpen your skills, we've got the knowledge to help you book smarter, better, and more affordable. Ready to turn those points into incredible travel experience? Let's get started.
All right, let's dive into the foundation of booking our flights. Understanding our charts and dynamic pricing. These are your keys to knowing how many points you need and how to get best value for your points.
Yes, our charts are like a treasure map for your points. Airlines use them to show how many miles or points you need for a flight. But here's the catch. Not all charts are created equal, and that's where the real strategy comes in.
Well, take British Airways for example. They use distance-based hour chart, meaning the farther you fly, the more Avios you need. It's all divided into zones, so a short hop from London to Paris might fall into zone 1, while a longer flight to New York lands in a higher zone.
And don't forget about peak and off-peak pricing. British Airways offers off-peak flights where you can save a chunk of Avios just by flying on less popular dates.
Those savings can really add up.
Then, Virgin Atlantic's Flying Club works on a region-based award chart. This system is a bit simpler, based on where you're flying rather than the exact distance. For example, flights from the UK to the US East Coast are in one category, while trips to the West Coast require more points.
But it's not just about static charts anymore. More airlines like KLM and Air France are shifting to dynamic pricing with their Flying Blue program. This means the number of miles you need can fluctuate based on demand, booking time, and even the cash price of the ticket.
Yeah, dynamic pricing can be a bit of a double-edged sword. On one hand, it offers flexibility. If you book during a low demand period, you might snag a great deal. On the other hand, popular routes during peak times could eat up a lot more miles. How do you make dynamic pricing work for you? Well, it's all about being proactive, monitor prices regularly, and stay flexible with your travel dates. Sometimes booking well in advance or holding out for last-minute deal can make a world of difference.
Yeah, and don't overlook those pesky taxes and fees. They can vary widely depending on the airline and route. For example, booking a flight from London to New York with British Airways might require fewer Avios during off-peak times, but the surcharge can be hefty, sometimes over £500. And in contrast, using Avios to book a flight on a partner airline such as Iberia can mean much lower fees.
So, understanding our charts and dynamic pricing isn't just about knowing how many points you need. It's about using that knowledge to make smarter, more strategic decisions about when and where to book your flights.
And once you have mastered this, you will be well on your way to turning those points into unforgettable travel experiences.
We've talked about understanding the value of your points, but the next big challenge is actually finding those award seats. This can sometimes feel like searching for a needle in a haystack, especially for those premium cabins.
Wow, that's right. Award availability is a bit of a moving target. When you think you have found the perfect flight, the seats can disappear in a flash. But with the right approach, you can dramatically increase your chances of success. First off, it's crucial not to limit yourself to just the major airports. Heathrow might be the obvious choice, but have you ever considered Gatwick, Manchester, or even Edinburgh? These airports often offer hidden gems in terms of availability and sometimes even lower fees.
That's a great point, Elisa. And it doesn't stop to UK airports. Think about regional hubs in Europe. like Paris or Amsterdam. These cities can open up a whole new range of options. It's all about being flexible and creative with your departure points.
It sure is, Carlos. Tools like SeatSpy can also be game changers. If you're serious about snagging those hour seats, this tool allows you to set up alerts for specific routes, dates, and even cabin classes. You will be the first to know when an hour seat is released. Imagine you've been eyeing that dream trip to Tokyo, but the flights are just out of reach. Then, bam, you get an alert from SeatSpy business class seats just open up at half of the points. That's the kind of moment we are talking about. Here's something many overlook. Checking availability with partner airlines when your primary airline doesn't have what you need. Let's say you were searching on the British Airways website for a flight from London to New York and nothing's coming up. It's easy to think you're out of luck, but this is where knowing about partner airlines can really pay off.
British Airways is part of the One World Alliance, which includes American Airlines. So instead of giving up, head to the American Airlines website and search for the same route. You might find availability on a flight that's operated by American Airlines. Now here's the important part. Once you find a flight that works, you don't book it directly through American Airlines if you want to use your Avios. Instead, you contact British Airways customer service.
And when you do, ensure you have got all the details ready, the exact flight number, date, and time. This will make it much easier for the customer service agent to find and book your flight using your Avios. The same process applies if you're looking at one world partners like Cathay Pacific. Just remember, you're still redeeming through British Airways, but you're leveraging the availability of their partner airlines.
Here's a tactic often missed. Search for one seat at a time, especially if you're booking premium cabins. Airlines sometimes release hour seats one by one. If you find one seat, book it immediately. Then search again for the next passenger. This strategy has worked wonders on popular routes where finding multiple seats together can be nearly impossible.
Let's be honest, who hasn't refreshed the hour booking page 50 times hoping something pops out? Been there, done that, but these tips should save you from the refresh madness. Flexibility really is your best ally.
And for those who thrive on last-minute adventures, don't overlook the value of last-minute availability. Airlines often release unsold award seats just a few days before departure, especially in business or first class. If you're flexible and can pack quickly, this could be your ticket to a luxury seat at a fraction of what it normally costs.
Yeah, and well, don't forget those special times when airlines do inventory sweeps. They might release more hour seats as the departure date approaches, especially if the flight isn't as full as expected. It really pays to keep checking, even if you didn't find what you want the first time around.
Yes, persistence and flexibility are key. The more you expand your search parameters and strategies you employ, the better your chances of landing that dream flight. Now, tell me something. What about you? Have you ever spent hours trying to find the perfect award seat only to come up empty-handed? Drop us a comment. We've all been there, and I'm sure we all have more tips to share.
Now that you have mastered searching for award availability, let's dive deeper into a strategy. We touched earlier, leveraging partner airlines within the major alliances to really stretch your points.
Each major airline is part of an alliance, like One World, SkyTeam, or Star Alliance. Booking through these alliances give you access to a vast network of partner airlines, often with better availability and lower fees than if you book directly with your primary airline.
If you're trying to book a flight from London to Tokyo using British Airways but aren't finding any availability, it's time to think outside the box. Instead of booking directly with BA, you could check Japan Airlines, a fellow One World member. Japan Airlines might have the needed seats, and you can still book them using your Avios.
Once you find a Japan Airlines flight that fits your schedule, just contact British Airways customer service to book the flight. As we discussed before, make sure to have all details of the flight to make the process smoother when booking through their partner airlines.
And this strategy works across the entire One World Alliance. If you're flying to Hong Kong, for example, Cathay Pacific could offer availability that BA doesn't, and you can still use your Avios to book it. By using the networks of BA's partners, you really expand your options.
Yes, but it's not just about alliances. Airlines also form individual partnerships with other carriers, creating what is known as code-share flights. For example, British Airways has a partnership with Latam Airlines, which isn't part of the One World Alliance anymore. Through this partnership, you can book a flight from London to Santiago in Chile using Avios on BA's website, but Latam will operate the flight itself.
And code share flights can really open up more options, especially if your primary airline doesn't fly direct to your destination or if their flights are fully booked.
Now, before you get too deep into the strategies, it's important to remember that to take advantage of these alliances and partnerships, you must be a member of at least one frequent flyer program, whether it's British Airways Club, Virgin Atlantic Flying Club, or any other program. Being a member allows you to earn and redeem miles across the network of partner airlines. If you haven't already, make sure you sign up. It's free and unlocks a world of travel opportunities.
Yeah, totally. Once you're a member, you can start exploring these opportunities and get the most out of your points.
Another example is Virgin Atlantic's Flying Club. Virgin partners with Delta, which means you can use your Virgin points to book flights on Delta, especially for routes from the UK and the US. Delta often has more availability than Virgin itself, and sometimes lower surcharges too. If you find a Delta flight that works, you can book it using Virgin points through Virgin Atlantic's website or customer service.
And then there's the SkyTeam Alliance, which includes KLM, Air France, and Korean Air. With Flying Blue, the loyalty program for KLM and Air France, you can book flights across the entire SkyTeam network. If you're flying from the UK to Asia, you might find better availability or lower fees by booking with a SkyTeam partner, like a Korean Air, instead of going through KLM or Air France directly.
The same strategy applies to the Star Alliance, the largest of the three major alliances. Even though British Airways and Virgin Atlantic aren't part of Star Alliance, you can still tap into this network through programs like Lufthansa Miles and More or United Mileage Plus. For example, if you're planning a trip to Asia, booking a flight with Lufthansa or Swiss International Airlines through United Mileage Plus could help you avoid the high surcharges often associated with British Airways.
Yeah, and another great strategy is using partner airlines to reach destinations your main airline doesn't serve directly. For instance, using Avios to book a Qantas flight to Australia can save you a significant amount compared to booking direct through British Airways, especially considering the surcharges and availability.
Don't forget Iberia, another One World member. Iberia has lower surcharges than British Airways, especially on flights between Europe and the Americas. Transferring your Avios to Iberia Plus and booking directly through Iberia, you can score fantastic deals with much lower out-of-pocket costs.
One more thing to consider is the ability to mix and match partners within an alliance to create a custom itinerary. Okay, I'm gonna give you an example. So you could fly from London to Tokyo on Japan Airlines and return on Cathay Pacific, all using Avios. This flexibility allows you to optimize availability and cost, especially when dealing with peak travel periods.
The bottom line, don't just stick to one airline. Explore partnerships within the alliances, One World, SkyTeam, and Star Alliance, and don't forget those individual code-share agreements. By being strategic and flexible, you can find better availability, lower fees, and even unlocking destinations you might not have considered before.
It's all about maximizing your points by taking full advantage of what these alliances and partnerships offer. The more you explore and understand these relationships, the more value you will get from your miles, turning what could be a pricey trip into an affordable luxury.
Alright, travelers, now that we've got a handle on using partner airlines and code-share flights, let's dive into some key booking strategies. Timing and flexibility can be your best friends when securing those valuable award seats.
It always starts with understanding when to book. The earlier, the better. Airlines release award seats 11 to 12 months in advance. For popular routes, especially in premium cabins, these seats can disappear fast. So setting a calendar alert for when those seats are released can really give you an edge.
But if you can't plan that far ahead, don't worry, this is where flexibility steps in. Adjusting your travel dates by just a day or two can open up many more options. For instance, midweek flights like Tuesdays and Wednesdays are often less crowded and have more award seats available.
Yeah, that's right, Carlos. And sometimes you might need to consider a strategy called positioning. This means flying to another airport or city first, where there might be better availability or lower cost for the main leg of your journey. Carlos is going to give you an example now.
Yes, if you can't find a direct flight from London to New York, you might find a good option from Dublin instead. First, position yourself in Dublin, and from there, you continue to New York using your points. It's a clever way to maximize your points.
And don't just think about where you're starting from. Consider where you're landing. This is where the concept of open jaw itineraries comes into play. An open jaw flight is when you fly into one city and out of another. You fly into Rome and return home from Venice. You get it? You fly into Rome, but when you come home, you're coming from another city in Italy. That's just like an example. You still need to get between the two cities on your own. It can open up more flight options and you could even save your points. Plus, you're gonna have like an excellent trip.
Yeah, you could go from Rome to Florence and then go to Milan and do like a little tour in Italy.
Yeah, and
then go to Venice, fly back from Venice to London.
Yeah, or you can use the tip we gave us on the episode about environmental. You can be a bit greener and then book a train from Rome to Venice.
Yes, Elisa, open jaw strategies are very good and it can enhance your travel. Open jaw and multi-city itineraries not only add variety to your trip, but they can also unlock more award availability. And sometimes combining these strategies with what's known as sweet spots can really boost your savings. A sweet spot is essentially a time or route where you get the best value for your points, like when airlines reduce the number of points needed for certain flights or during off-peak seasons.
For example, British Airways often has lower off-peak pricing for flights within Europe, okay? So if you can plan your trip around these times, you could save a substantial number of Avios. The key is to look for those periods when fewer people are flying, after the new year or before summer holidays kicks off. This is when airlines often offer the best deals on points.
And then there are last-minute bookings. If you are flexible and can travel on a short notice, airlines sometimes release unsold award seats just a few days before departure. This could be your chance to snag a luxury seat without spending a fortune in points. It's all about being ready to jump on those opportunities when they come up.
Another important aspect is monitoring award availability over time. Well, as we said before, some airlines use dynamic pricing, which means the number of points required can change based on demand. Setting up alerts or regularly checking back can help you catch those moments when prices drop, giving you the best value for your points.
So whether you're booking early, staying flexible with your dates and airports, or pouncing on last-minute opportunities, the key is to be strategic and patient. These strategies can help you turn what might seem like a limited set of options into a world of possibilities. And remember, the more you understand these concepts, the more confident you will be in making the most of your points.
Yeah, totally true, Carlos. Once you apply these strategies, you see how much value you can squeeze out of your points. It's all about being informed and ready to adapt as you plan your travels. Well, now that we have covered timing and flexibility, let's talk about another way to get even more value from points: upgrades and group bookings. Well, these strategies can elevate your travel experience without requiring a huge number of extra points.
Upgrading your seat with points is one of the most satisfying ways to use miles. Imagine starting in economy and ending up in premium economy, or moving from premium economy to business class. Sometimes it costs fewer points to upgrade than to book a premium seat outright.
Let's break this down. When we talk about upgrading, it usually means you have already booked the ticket and then you use the points to move up to the next class. For instance, if you have booked economy ticket with British Airways, you can upgrade to premium economy. If you have booked a premium economy ticket, you can upgrade to business class. But remember, upgrades are only possible if your ticket is an eligible fare class, typically more flexible or higher priced economy or premium economy tickets.
Here's how the points work for upgrades. The number of points you need to upgrade is typically the difference between the points required for your ticket and those required for the class you want to move to. So if upgrading from premium economy to business class, you'll pay the difference in points between a business class ticket and a premium economy ticket. You also need to cover any difference in taxes and fees.
Okay, I'm gonna give you an example now. Say you have booked a premium economy ticket from London to New York on British Airways, okay? If your ticket is eligible and it costs 40,000 Avios in premium economy, but 60,000 Avios in business class, you would need to pay the difference of 20,000 Avios to upgrade. Plus, you might need to pay any additional taxes and fees that apply to the higher class. Well, considering that a business class ticket could cost several £1,000s, using points to upgrade is a fantastic way to experience luxury for a fraction of the cost.
If you are planning to upgrade, try to book your economy or premium economy ticket as early as possible. This gives you a better chance of finding available upgrade seats, especially on popular routes. Once you've booked, you can either upgrade immediately if seats are available, or keep checking closer to the departure date.
And keep an eye out for airline promotions or point sales. Sometimes airlines offer special deals where they discount the number of points needed to upgrade, or offer bonus points for making a purchase or transferring points. These promotions can make upgrading even more affordable. Virgin Atlantic, for example, sometimes offer point sales where you can buy Virgin points at a discount, making it cheaper to upgrade your seat.
Now let's talk about group bookings. Traveling with family or friends can be a bit more challenging, especially when trying to find enough award seats for everyone on the same flight. But there are strategies to make it work. One of the first things to consider is pooling your points. Programs like British Airways Club allow families to combine their Avios into a single account, making it easier to accumulate enough points for those big trips.
Now here's a practical example. Suppose you're planning a holiday to the Caribbean with your family. You find that British Airways has availability in the economy, but you want to upgrade to a premium economy. By pooling Avios from everyone in your family, you might have enough points to upgrade all your seats. This way, everyone enjoys a more comfortable flight without needing a massive individual points balance.
And here's a pro tip. When searching for award seats for a group, start by searching for one seat at a time. Airlines sometimes release seats individually, especially in business or first class. If you find one seat, book it, and then search again for the next passenger. This method has helped many travelers secure seats for a group when searching for multiple seats at once would have shown no availability.
If you still can't find enough seats on the same flight, consider booking split itineraries. For example, half of your group could fly direct while the other half takes a connecting flight. Well, it's not ideal, but it's practical if our availability is tight. Just make sure to coordinate the arrival times as closely as possible. One final tip: if you plan to upgrade a group, book as early as possible. Premium cabin seats are limited, especially on popular routes. The earlier you book, the better your chances of getting everyone seated together in comfort. And remember, keep checking back even after you book. You never know when more upgrade seats might become available.
Whether traveling solo or looking to upgrade your experience, you're booking for a group and trying to maximizing everyone's comfort, these strategies will help you get the most out of your points. It's all about planning ahead, being strategic, and knowing when to jump on those opportunities.
Yeah, and combining these techniques, you can elevate your travel experience, making even a routine flight special without spending a fortune in points or cash. And that's a wrap for today. We hope these strategies help you unlock incredible value from your points, whether upgrading your seats or booking for a group.
The key takeaway is that with some planning and the right approach, as we say always, you can turn your points into amazing travel experiences. Luxury flights, upgraded cabins, and unforgettable trips without
Breaking the bank. Well, if you found these tips helpful, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. It really makes a difference and keep us motivated to bring you more valuable content.
We are building a community of frequent travelers who share a passion for exploring the world smartly and affordably, and we love for you to be part of it. By subscribing, you will stay connected with all the latest tips, and together we can make every journey better. Don't forget to hit that notification bell to stay updated. And we love to hear from you. Share your thoughts, questions, or travel hacks in the comments below. Let's help each other make the most out of our travels.
Thanks for being part of our travel community. Your support means the world to us. Keep exploring. Let's continue turning travel dreams into reality together.
Yes. Well, guys, that's it for today's episode. See you next time, and
Happy travels!